about the first day? Because I don't think Esme's here. Thank you, love. Hello, Mary. Esme is here.
Total result with the national quotas.
Great.
So
She's wearing a WDI shirt. Not yet. Well, she had when I saw her.
Okay.
You look delicious, can I say?
Well, thanks so much.
You look very juicy.
Well, you're on. Everyone can hear you, is what I was going to say.
Well,
it's fine.
I hope people don't mind.
Okay, so I have.
That's happened to me so many times when I've been here. Like, I'll get text messages from my boys going, yeah. There she is, behind the red. Oh, yes. Thank you.
I'm just letting you people at home just soak up the atmosphere a minute. Right, those need handing out. Don't know who's going to do that. Do we know who's going to do that? Hand out leaflets.
Where's the purple jacket?
Here, so I'm going to start any second. All right. Hi. The black ones are £12.50 today. They are, the black is also clear, but it's difficult to see how clear it is.
My husband has a very specific idea of how I can wear it.
Right, so these are bags of leaflets.
Because maybe later I won't
Okay.
have time. However I can help you, let me know because I want to help you
Wonderful.
in Mexico or in the Middle East.
Yeah.
However.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you
that
so
is very
much. That's very kind. Thank you. Okay, right, I've got some leaf. Do you want to have stickers and pass them on? Do you want to take some stickers and pass them on? Okay, right, I'm going to start in a minute. Can you pass these around? Thank you. Oh, hello!
Hello.
Oh, how are you?
There are some
Have you
young
brought your
youngsters
lovely
there.
wife?
They want to say hi and one
Okay.
made a lovely gift when you have
Okay,
time.
did you bring your wife?
No, next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really nice to see you, Tonya. Are you going to speak? Are you going to speak? Yeah, okay, good. Thanks, lovely. Right, okay. All right. Good afternoon. Okay, I'm going to do a few rules because you seem to be a bit casual with your conversation because you're eating and you've got this bizarre idea that this is your time to relax and have some fun. It's not. So, what we like to do here is we like to facilitate people speaking and also ensure that we give them respect of listening. Especially if you're a man, you have to shush. Right, so when it comes to, if you want to have a conversation, fine. It's also about, can you stop talking? Thanks. It's also about community and building this massive constituency of women globally, and we're doing really well here. So, if you do want to chat, can you please make sure you're right away from the circle of people trying to listen, because being 49 means if anybody's making a noise, I can't hear. And that probably goes for the majority of people here. We're all losing our hearing a little bit. So that means if you're if somebody had a radio on right now, I would barely hear myself. So is it good, Mary? Yep. Okay. So that's a little bit of a rule. The next thing is, as many of you can speak as possible. And I know when you practice your speeches at home, and they're just a mere 15 minutes, I'm sure they sound really entertaining, loads of rules of like the rule of three, loads of peaks and troughs. Unfortunately, what we often hear is, when is it going to finish? So if you can keep them sort of 3 to 5 minutes, 3 minutes is really good. Try and be snappy. 3 minutes is really good. 5 minutes if you really have to. And if your story is heartbreaking, it's really difficult to interrupt you and hurry you up. So get your tears out at the beginning. Try and elicit as much emotion from the crowd as you can in that first minute, and then you'll have us all on board, but you still can't go on for 15 minutes. All right, thank you very much. I thought it needed saying sometimes. Okay, this is a single issue campaign. However, you are allowed, you are permitted, we will let you speak about whatever it is that you like. However, we don't have to agree with you, but we would ask quiet heckling, if any. But generally speaking, this is about let women speak, not come on and run the gauntlet with a load of women who may have had far too much champagne or Prosecco at lunchtime. Okay, so how we start this here as well. Also, if you do need to come and speak to me, that's fine. But if you can try and do it sort of in between other people's speeches, that would be ideal. And again, you just have to do it on mute. So it might not be ideal after all. Okay, so how we start is we do this. We say, you have to remember the word TERF, okay? TERF is the word, TERF. Actually, it feels like can you hear me quite well? Yes. It's quite nice, isn't it, here? Little trees bringing in the sound. Ovaries in nature, isn't that lovely? Okay, what a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being a... Yay, well done. I'm looking and I can see quite a few faces I don't think I've seen before. Can you give a clap or a whoop if it's your first time? Oh, this is so good. Can you give a whoop or a clap if this is like your billionth time? See, that proves that it's quite good because people do come back. Okay, so we are gathered here today outside of this old police station, back when you could probably beat up people in the cells. Outside of this police station, and we've moved here because there's some music going on at that giant rainbow thing up near Reformers Tree, so we've had to move. But the reason you are compelled to come, the reason you may have felt, do you know what, now is the time, is because you may have read something in the news, you may have watched somebody on Twitter, you may have seen Davina McCall do something really tentative, a sort of toe, slightly tapping the edge of the water, and then loads of women flooding her mentions to say, we've got your back, please don't back down, please don't retract, don't delete. And that kind of is a real good test of where we are, that even saying something like, quite enjoyed that podcast, it was balanced, leads women into the gauntlet of some extraordinary, aggressive men and their champion little girls who would like to silence women and make it impossible to even say that something is balanced when they tell the truth. So, or it might be that you've recently discovered your kid's school. I got a letter today from somebody who is it just like us. We're going into their school. I think just like us is is the normal Trojan horse of diversity and inclusion. Let's put boys in girls' changing rooms and cut girls' breasts off kind of lobby group. It might be that you've discovered that your local council doesn't facilitate single-sex care to elderly female residents in their own home. It may be all of these things. It may be because you just want to stand in a park and listen to someone say the word penis repeatedly, normally attached to the words, no woman has a penis. It might... I literally travel the globe saying that very thing. It is my living to say no woman has a penis. You might be here because you want to hear someone say no man has a vagina. Do you ever just take a moment and think that we have got to a situation where I'm literally one of the bravest people some people know, according to them, not according to me, but it's an act of courage to say these things in public. It is insane. It's utterly, utterly insane. You may want to hear the words non-binary is nonsense. And transitioning children is profound abuse. It may well be that your own child is caught up in this cult. It may be they've had a near miss. It may be, and I know there's one young lady here today whose school is totally captured. It might be that your child is a victim of this cult by not even being in it, by just knowing the truth and being gaslit at school. But whatever your reason, I promise, it sounds insane, but you will feel a little more liberated after visiting here today if it's your first time. You might feel a little less gaslit, a little less isolated, a little bit like you're not actually going insane. It is the rest of the world. And so welcome one and all. And if you want to speak, please put up your hand. But thank you for coming, everyone. Who's going to speak? Yes. Hello. You all right?
Thank you so much for this.
You're very welcome. There you go.
It shouldn't be too much more than 5 minutes.
Don't worry, don't worry. Just not really loud if you can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, just before this lady speaks, let me just say, if you really struggle to hear a speaker, you might want to listen on headphones through YouTube, and then it will be a little bit behind, but you will have a chance to hear, and everything is on YouTube. Okay, carry on.
Hello, everybody. My name's Sarah. I was first, but here I am. I've come here to speak because witnessing the transgender movement has been like watching a car crash in slow motion. So much pain and distress from children undergoing chemical and surgical mutilation, men in women's sports, changing rooms, lesbian spaces, prisons, bullying of those brave enough to speak out about it.
If you want to be on camera with that one.
Oh, thank you. And none of this would be happening if it wasn't being enabled by doctors, head teachers, librarians, media, police and civil servants. How is that possible? My answer is yes, in part by big money and lobbying by Stonewall et al., but that doesn't explain it all. The main reason why anyone would go along with this madness is the misogyny and disembodiment that has been so much of our cultural fabric that we don't even see it. It's part of the wallpaper. It is about disembodiment in our society that I want to speak today. There is the body hatred that we have inherited from centuries of religious indoctrination for the purposes of social control. And now in modern life, we still educate children with an overwhelming emphasis on the intellectual, sitting at desks for hours with a bit of sport thrown in. Add in the amount of time devoted to screens, and the result is that many of us are living in our heads a lot of the time. I think that this body-hating cult has taken up more traction among the middle classes. albeit some of the trade unions are captured, but working class people generally are more grounded, so it's a top-down movement. I was a child in the 60s, and I remember a time with an indefinable feeling of hope, expansion, possibilities, fun. This movement is the latest attempt by the powers that be to stuff that genie back into the bottle. It is McDonald's clown. If you look beyond the horribleness, transgenderism is boring. I have worked as a holistic therapist for the past 20 years, and it is open to the way we have been seduced by language into thinking that mind and body are two separate entities. But that's not true. We are in fact all body minds, one aspect with the property of being available to all the five senses, while the other aspect is immaterial, our consciousness. This is holism. The soul is not gendered. We all have both masculine and feminine archetypes in our psyche, although we may well be more conscious of the archetype that corresponds to our sex, while the opposite one is more shadowy. Transgenderism is inside out and upside down, so let's turn it right way round again. Non-binary. I think that the effect of the transgender movement's demand on all of us, through pronouns for instance, to affirm someone's inner being, is once again we are being forced to place authority outside of ourselves, not allowed to trust our own senses. This has a disempowering effect, and yet our words somehow have the power to kill. Where are the scientists in all this? Those same skeptics who rubbished holistic therapies because they don't fit within the established paradigm. Why are they not defending the science teacher being hounded for teaching basic biological facts? Are they enthralled to Big Pharma? What I say is, they've thrown out the God baby and kept the dirty bathwater, that nature is inert and passive. This is not true. Nature is active, creative, responsive, intelligent. Our bodies are not machines. They are intricately complex, self-regulating living systems. I cut myself, the wound bleeds, then a scab forms and it heals. Magic. A plant grows from a seed. Magic. Our bodies have so much wisdom that in conventional life we are not tapping into. It is our bodies which are the source of our power and authenticity, our sovereignty. We are human beings, not human doings. Our hearts are the source of compassion and courage, which the world badly needs. We need everyone to be in their bodies to access the wisdom of our whole selves and to get the big picture thinking, which has been so lacking during the destruction and devastation being carried out on the natural world. I love my washing machine when it works, but we need to ensure that technology is always the servant, never the master. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. We need to look at all the implications, not just on our society, but on all the plants, birds, insects, animals, etc., with whom we live in magnificent interdependence in this biosphere. Let's end this death cult, and as nature abhors a vacuum, let's replace it with a life cult. All my life, I have tried to imagine what society would be like if women were universally honoured and respected, as everyone does here. there would be no such thing as born in the wrong body, and nobody would feel the need to justify their existence, because everyone would know that they were perfect and lovable just as they are, because a woman gave birth to them. This point was made by one of the beautiful speakers in Vienna. By elevating women, we elevate everyone. So I'd like to thank Kellie-Jay and all your crew for providing this cauldron for us to brew up courage soup. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Let me just say, if you are thinking about drinking any courage soup, allergy information, it doesn't contain nuts. So, yeah, all right, Mary. Can I say, I can see Jean from Aberdeen. Just saying. Okay, I'm just going to take this moment before she steals my limelight and say, it is time, if you have an ounce of courage, it is time to stand for election. It is time to go and with your sharp elbows into your local council, which often actually has more direct access to enacting democracy, because it's in the councils that the small decisions are made about whether or not a man does go into an elderly woman's house, or often, I couldn't say that it's happening in my council because it might be defamatory, but in some councils somewhere there will be an AGP who has got elected to sit in that council, and then, I don't know, he joins children's committees. There will be in your fostering committee, and we had a call about this at TERF Talk, that in fostering they got captured ages ago. Ages ago. So it might be a woman who has said that she will care for only girls, and then she might get a boy, or it might be a woman with vulnerable children in her home already who is asking only girls can come. She's already got girls in her foster care who are vulnerable, and they can no longer guarantee that child will be female. Or it might be, oh, I hope this doesn't happen, but I bet it does. It might be a woman and her husband, who now calls himself a woman, lovely lesbian couple, we might say, who say that they can have children, girls maybe, and that girl goes into a house gaslit by somebody who's supposed to care for her because she's vulnerable, because either her actual family couldn't or wouldn't take care of her. So these areas of the most vulnerable children are already completely co-opted. Now, you can make a difference as a councillor if you sit on those committees. And I guess at the moment, rather than ask yourself, why would you? Ask yourself, why aren't you? Why haven't you? Because that's what they've done. They've got into every single nook and cranny where decisions are made about us and children, and they totally flipped it on its head. So if you're not doing it, if you think, I can't, I won't, you really, really need to ask yourself, do you want to be part of the 650 women that put themselves forward and we change the landscape? We change the political landscape in this country? And I had an American who keeps annoying me on Twitter tell me that if America doesn't get on, then we're ruined. No, no, no. We are the leaders. We are the TERF island for a reason. So, councils, police and crime commissioners. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I'm really thankful to the Metropolitan Police, and I think they've really upped their game, and it's been, all of us feel safe when we come. So thank you to the police. But did you see Geneva? Outside of the UN, they closed off streets for me. The only car that could get through to that area, besides police cars, was the car with the registration registered to protect me. They had a water cannon ready to go. They didn't use it. It would have been near a wash for some of them. They didn't use it, but there were riot police. They were so kitted up, tooled up. They were so kitted up, and yet they let them completely surround us and make loads of women really unsafe. And not just feel unsafe, but actually be unsafe. They didn't just say naughty, mean words. They actually did mean to cause harm. And of course, the most ladylike of the TRAs showed us all his penis in his dress. I think it was a penis. It's difficult to see from a couple of feet. So anyway, so I just really, I can't impress upon you enough. If we get 650 people standing, why won't we get a seat? If we get a seat, there's no conversation in Parliament that can go ahead without one of us being there to ask questions. So it really does, it's up to you now. Okay, who would like to speak? So, okay, in a moment, we'll let this lady. Okay.
What a lovely t-shirt.
I know, the duo Kellie-Jay. So I'm Mary from Liverpool, and I'm Liverpool, yes. And I'm involved with Thoughtful Therapists. And I actually want to start with a little scene from Harry Potter. I want to speak. I'm from Liverpool, I'm quite loud. So I want to, first of all, start with a little story from Harry Potter. Because I was thinking about my colleagues and friends who all think this is all very kind and nice and all of this is going on. And I thought Harry Potter, when they go down the trapdoor and fall on all the plants and it starts surrounding them. So first of all, they say, you know, Ron and Harry go, oh, this is nice, it's really comfortable, as they fall down flump. But actually, they can't move. And then the next thing that happens is Hermione jumps down and she says, you know, they said, oh, it's been cushioned. So everybody's cushioned, it's all very nice. And she jumps down and says, no, can't you see what's happening? You're all being surrounded and strangled and you can't move. And that's what it feels like. The capture is how it happens, is everyone's going, oh, it's very nice. Certainly in the therapy organisations, we're being nice, we're being inclusive, you know, word salad all over the place. And actually it's just sort of strangling everything. So Hermione jumps down and says, I know what this is. It's Devil's Snare. How do I get rid of it? She said, what it likes, the dark and the damp. So they said, so light a fire. She says, but there's no wood. And then they say, are you a witch or not? And she goes, oh God, of course I am. And then she starts lighting fires, which I think is what we're all doing. We're lighting fires, we're getting light on it. We're kind of not being, sometimes when I get my latest journal from my professional organisation, I think, oh, maybe I'll just go with it because it all looks so nice. And then I realise that Devil's Snare is transitioning children. Devil's Snare is new clinics opening, as Terry reminded me. There are new clinics with ex-people from GIDS, including people like Iggy Moon, opening up, ignoring the Cass report. Devil's Snare is the conversion therapy bill. Devil's Snare is erasing women. Devil's Snare is us not feeling safe. Devil's Snare is just such a destruction of so many of our professions, when actually all we want to do is do our job. And Devil's Snare is anti-safeguarding. Devil's Snare is just sinister, it's not nice, even though when they first fall in it, they think, oh, this is nice, lovely, cushioned us from our fall. No, you mustn't be cushioned from a fall. Therapy isn't about affirming and being nice. It's about tackling things that are difficult and disgusting and hateful and challenging. It's not all sweet and unicorns, because, you know, if you thinking psychoanalytically, just to, like, I don't mean to sound pretentious, but basically if you ignore something and push it away, it takes on a life of its own. And I think that's what's happened with this. It's sort of taken on a life of its own. So it's difficult to fight it, but we need to. The other thing I want to bring up is, of course, we have the wonderful James Esses still going through his case. You know, it's been really hard on him. We're getting more and more therapists contact, and he's doing brilliant things, you know, apart from going to 7-hour meetings and exposing all sorts of stuff. But we have also people contacting us, going through disciplinaries and being sacked for just trying to do their job. And I want to read something out from one of my colleagues who has just been given the sack. She said, I can't go into the details, you'll hear about it at some point in the future. She's just been sacked for absolutely nothing. There are therapists that believe sex matters, but because of this, we are losing our jobs. I feel really emotional with this because it's so hard seeing her go through it. We are losing our jobs, but we are challenging and confronting our ethical bodies, which are completely captured. There are therapists challenging how Gillick competence is being used, weaponised, and there are therapists standing up for the rights of children and women, and we will not be silenced. And I want to mention, when I was in Birmingham, I mentioned the GenSpec conference, which was extraordinary in Killarney, and the organisations like the Clinically and Advisory Network for Gender and Sue and Marcus Evans, the Free Speech Union have really been supporting us. So there's GenSpec, and I'm hoping Stella might be, I don't know, but anyway, GenSpec and Gender Exploratory Therapy, the Gay Men's Network, and all the different little blue fires that are being lit. Glinner and the Mess, Critical Therapy Antidote, the Queen's Speech, EDI Jester, LGB Alliance, just to name a few. And of course, Posie, I mean, today's going to be the hottest day of the year. I think with my little devil snare analogy, just to push it a bit, this is like a really big fire to kind of get this stranglehold away. Oh God, sorry, we always do that, don't we? Thank you. Oh.
Okay. Would you like to speak?
Yes, please.
Oh, nice here.
Here?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to face the camera there.
Yeah. You don't want me turning around?
You can turn around. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can talk to everyone
Yeah.
as loud as you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for letting me speak, Kellie-Jay. Can you hear me? Yeah. Right, okay. Usually I don't have a problem projecting my voice.
Sorry, just one moment. Could we please, especially if you're sat really near the inner circle, can you please, honestly, it takes a lot of courage for lots of people to come up and speak. It would just be nice if everybody else could hear them as best as possible. So, fingers on lips. No, I'm joking. Okay, carry on.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Mary from Scotland. I'm no Jean. I am no Jean from Aberdeen, and I really hope she's going to come up and share her words with us. I know she's here. I know, I've seen her. Fabulous woman. Two things I want to talk about in what's happened this week in politics in Scotland, which actually affect all of us. One was we had that fabulous event, Let Women Speak event in Glasgow. It was well attended. It was peaceful. It was just fabulous. And this week in the Glasgow City Chambers, we had a councillor say that we are all Nazis, bigots, TERFs, and that not one person in that chamber challenged them. So we think that anyone who was there, and I'm sure there were a lot of you there because I know that lots of people travelled up for it, write to that council, tell them, complain. We are not Nazis, we're not TERFs, and we're not bigots. We're just women who are fighting for our rights. Please do. I understand their complaints is a bit slow at the moment because they've been flooded with complaints, but please do. And as well as that, complain to the council leader as well, because he sat there, he allowed it, and he said nothing. And in fact, there were people applauding. And this is in our political institutions. Kelly's right. If we get ourselves into political institutions, we can make a difference. Now, there's a very good, you'd think, very good organisation called Elect Her that are supporting women to go into politics. They yesterday held a massive event at the Scottish Holyrood Parliament. It was hundreds of women there. There were also men in dresses there. So they don't think that women are women. They think that anyone can identify to be a woman. So we had to sit there yesterday with this huge elephant in the room. Some of them were quite big, I would have to say. Huge elephant in the room, which was, there's men here. They're wearing our dresses. They're taking our words. They're using our spaces. They were in our toilets. They're being promoted. They're using our resources. They're not only that, getting up in workshops and speaking for us. Where does this end if we do not say no? No, no, no. Now, Elect Her is a UK organisation. It's not a Scottish organisation. Write to them, complain, tell them. We don't want you to be supporting men into politics as well. There are enough of them already. And to be thinking about how difficult it is for women to have sat in that thing. And I was one of them who sat there and listened to MSPs talking. I'm going to wait till the plane flies past. Waiting for... watching MSPs say that, you know, no men can do what women do. They don't understand what women do. But they voted away our single-sex spaces in Scotland. These politicians that were sitting there, bar one, Tess White, Conservative MSP, who is really supportive of women's rights, was the only member of that panel who had not, MSP of that panel, who had not voted to do away with our single-sex spaces. So, we do need women in politics. We need to tell men that they can't call us Nazis and bigots just because, and I would have to say the councillor is also a man who identifies as a woman who said all this. We don't need that in politics. We don't need them taking our words. We don't need them taking our spaces. We don't need them taking our resources. So, two things. Write to the council and write to Elect Her, or do something with Elect Her that lets them know that we do not want them to be supporting women who are men into politics.
Just one moment. Just one moment. Yeah, I just want to say to Dave, Dave in that council, I like to call him Councillor, my grandma, what large hands you have, Dave. Isn't it just mad? They can say what they like. We've been so othered that they can say what they like, and I'm quite proud to be a TERF. I'm not a radical feminist, but I am definitely trans exclusionary when it comes to men. If you're a girl and you've been sucked into the cult, you're more than welcome to come back to reality. But I definitely exclude men from all women's spaces, 100%, no questions, all the time. And let's remember this buzzword, exclusion, basically including men excludes women. It's just very, very simple. I'm just going to tell you a couple of stories because obviously when it comes to therapists, it's horrendous. They trained all their lives. They've got a career that they love, a profession that they love, and it's just been parasitically invaded by AGPs. I was in a clothes shop yesterday. Thanks very much. It wasn't the Californian women's prison, but I was in a clothing store yesterday, and I was talking to my husband about what am I going to put on it. Do I put gold? And then we discussed the gold buttons. And anyway, and this woman said, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, I campaign for women's rights. So she's a waspy woman. She was born in 1954. And she's now got to work. She's 69 years old, working in a shop. Like hard work. This is a middle-class demanding shop. So, you know, it's hard work. She doesn't want to be working. Her husband left her. She's got nothing. So she's working in this shop. And when I told her what I do, like not just women's campaigning, but basically say, no woman has a penis. She said what they have to put up with in the store is AGPs coming in, using the changing rooms. You can't say a word Otherwise you lose your job. You have to let them in. They may be in there some time. They may not just be trying on clothes. They may loudly talk. They may engage the women in really uncomfortable conversations about their breasts. Do my breasts look nice in this dress? You know, we as women often talk like that when we try on clothes. Can you see my penis? But they engage these women in these AGP fantasy conversations, a bit like a pillow fight. The things that we don't do that they've seen in the movies, so they start engaging women in those conversations. And those shop workers on probably near minimum wage, they can't say a word. And then I went into an underwear shop. It's Bravissimo, which is all about, well, I thought it was just about women with large breasts, which is not myself, but anyways, I went into the shop and they have an LGBT inclusion thing, like everywhere. And you're like, what does that mean? Does that mean the bra fitters, who are very young women, have to go in and measure these men? And then I had a vision of India Willoughby on Big Brother. And I just thought, that's how many of these men feel about their bodies. They don't feel like us, even in a women-only space. There's not many of us who are super proud to get naked, or it's, you know, often we have these light kind of conversations if we need a measure, right? Or if somebody comes and provides something, it's all a bit bashful. But that's not how these men are going to behave in the changing rooms with a very young woman sorting out their bra. And so it just made me think, we do talk often about women in certain jobs and what we can do about it, but these women can literally do nothing. They can't escape the gaze and the entitlement of these AGPs. They've got to treat them like they're the most wonderful customer. And I just think it's just got to stop. The quicker that we can do this, the better. It's just got to stop. Okay. You ready, Jean from Aberdeen? You canna sit your granny on the grass. Jean from Aberdeen, everyone. Come over this way, in the sunshine. Hi, lovely to see you.
And you. And
Hi,
you,
Jean.
right.
Right, this is the camera this way, but you can talk to whoever you like.
Okay. Right, well, can you hear me?
Yay!
Yay! I spoke in Glasgow because I was scunnered. That means fed up. I was fed up of the lies that were being spoken and written about Kellie-Jay's event. And I was also to call out the extreme violence that was being threatened for that event. And now I'm here to speak for the same reason. You've heard about that Glasgow councillor who told defamatory lies about the Glasgow rally and about the women who attended and spoke. I am here to call you out, Councillor Gallagher. We see what you are up to, trying to silence women, and it won't work. I am speaking today, and women will continue to speak out until your ideology is rooted out of public life. Right. Okay, so what I prepared for today was just a poem that I wrote for a rally in Govan. And this is in the northeast dialect, or not dialect, I'll get into trouble, language called the Doric. And people might think, well, what are you down speaking the Doric to folk in Hyde Park? Well, you all know the issues. I think you'll all understand what I'm saying. And I'm saying it as well because when I was a child, I was told not to speak like this. It wasn't proper English. So I'm now here in Hyde Park and I'm going to speak like this. Okay? Right. And my poem's entitled Folk are effing feart. Folk are effing feart. That's women folk like me. Fa ken fit women are. Lass, lassie, wifey, quiney, quine, and fit they are nae. Mannies. Folk like me are nae feart for ourselves, as we are all, and nobody can set us wrong. We are feart for the young, fa dinna ken fit they are like, and need the time, the space, the watchful waiting to tell fit the mystery of their bodies can and mech deliver. I am feart for the lassies I hae heard o, and can I get out of my head? The lassie locked up wi' a manny, built like a brick shit house. And the lassie lifted o'er the room on the fist of a male in an Irish women's homeless hostel. But we've a been telt there are no issues in Ireland, and Leo had never heard of Barbie. I am feart for the school quines, for hae nae place to pee in peace, or hae the dignity o' a wash basin, a waffy teenage loons leerin', and for skip their school to keep their ain respect. I am feart for my ain, for likes to run, jump, and do gymnastics and ride a bike. Fit's the point, if you ken afore you start, that the prizes will never ging to you. I am feart for women folk, for dinna ken they hae a cervix, and dinna find out until hour late. I dinna need to fear for men folk, for I dinna ken they hae a prostate, as mannies are still telt that information is for men. But maist o' a, haeing heard the words of Dr. M and Henrietta, I fear for the women, for have lost ony agency o'er their ain bodies, and for lie in their hames or hospitals with the dread o' haeing their dignity and mere taken awa fae them. So, I could go on and on, oh fit fears me, the end of fit we are, women, but we will nae be rubbed out. Sex matters, and we will hud the line that says, identify whatever why you went. Be proud of fit you are, but respect the boundaries of fit ye are nae. Cause though I'm effing feart, I am also raging. My wrath o' righteous rage that wants to put a poultice on the body politic, drawing out the putrid, dangerous dregs of an ideology that doesn't recognise or respect the human female, adult and bairn. Dinna tell us our fears aren't valid and try to make us keep our peace. Have you got some water? Sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you. Adam and Andrew have exposed your heinous lies. So though I may be effing feart, I am here. We are here. Women will na wished. Please, in solidarity with our bonny fechters in Scotland that are fechting for the rights of women there, please, Hyde Park, can you all say the line, women want wished? women want reached. Thank you.
So lovely to see
Oh,
you.
thank you. Sorry, I tried.
No, it's all right, it's all right. It's very hot, it's very hot. You want to speak? Yeah.
I didn't write anything, but I just wanted to speak from the heart.
Okay, you come here. That's fine. Not everyone brings a prepared speech.
I didn't think I was actually going to.
Oh, go on. You're good.
Hi everyone, sorry, I didn't actually write anything down when I came, but I do want to speak from the heart. When I came across this whole movement regarding women's rights and the trans movement, I've come to the realization that they want us to abandon every objective reality and objective truth to submit to a subjective feeling. Thank you. This movement comes to you in rainbows and bright colours and smiles and promises of inclusivity and unconditional love under the condition that we submit and concede to their way of life. This is not what we are. We are women, adult human females. We will not stand for this. When I learned about the word cis, momentarily I did take the stance to say, hey, what is this about? When I understood it is turning women into a subcategory. We are not a category, we are not an umbrella. We are women and there is only one, and that is us. There can never be anything before or after. And I just want to say a message to the women who are standing against women, against us. You are the reason we are where we are today. We have fed into the delusion that men can really be women. This is not it. Sorry. It's just the anger that comes with it. It's actually ridiculous that we have to stand here now and I have to say what I am. I do not identify as a woman. I am one. This is what it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that? So, Posie,
You need to prepare
I have a message I need to give to you because I stream on TikTok.
Okay.
And can I speak to you at some point?
Yeah, yeah. Bit later. All right, no worries. Okay. Nice, isn't it? One moment. Tonya. You have to tell everyone who you are. She's on Thematic. There we go. Oh, let me just pin it on here. Oh, too much. Oh, God's sake, I'm sorry. There you go.
Hello. I'm Tonje from Norway. And I met Posie Parker in Norway in 2018 when she came and spoke brilliantly as she does today. And I think it's important I want to talk about being a lesbian and especially being a young lesbian. Young lesbians need heroes. They need women who stand up for themselves because that moment when you go out in the street as a lesbian and say men can't be lesbians, only women can be lesbians, then you build confidence. And you need heroes, and I would really like to, because you're a hero to many, and there are some young lesbians over there, and one of them have made a gift, and it's a brilliant gift. I think you should give it now while I'm talking. Yeah, because when young lesbians watch adult human females and the bravery you all show, the way you speak, the simplicity, then they know what is wrong and what is right. And young lesbians today, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And this is handcraft. It took how many hours did it take?
7 hours.
7 hours.
Don't hurry me, I'm going to drop it. Oh my God! Yeah, I will in a minute. Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Shall I read? Do I have to read it later? Yeah, later. Let me just show everyone at home. How amazing is that? I look really good. Oh, that's great. Tonya, over to you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Yesterday I was walking the streets of Berlin with some young lesbians taking to the streets, and it was maybe we was 20 lesbians, and it was 20 police, and it was 5 cars, and this is the situation in 2023, and what we are actually seeing is like it's a society where young lesbians has to like fit their sexual orientation to include men, and this is like abusive behavior, and we have to call it out, and we have to tell the politicians that they are harming the young lesbians because they have no possibility to defend themselves because of these Stonewall's LGBTQI organization in each country. And I think for young girls to learn to say no to men that pretend to be lesbians, say no to men that want into our spaces. And this is what I learned when I was a young tomboy, that if any man comes and tells you some abusive things, you should scream out and send the shame back to him. So I just think young lesbians, take a shout for them. Young lesbians!
What happened to you?
What? No. Okay.
Just contextualise who you were.
Yeah. Okay, what happened to me? I'm a lesbian from Norway. I'm an artist. I wrote the Vagina Anthem. It was cancelled by the art scene. And then they took my livelihood. They went for my wife, my wife's livelihood, and this was really hard for me because when they go for the ones you love, then something is broken inside you. I also was investigated for claiming that men cannot be lesbians, and I also said that any man who claims to be a lesbian, he is like living out his fetishes, or he's like a pervert, because when you redefine the definition of women to include men, it is a perverted version of women. So, but I'm still here. I'm coming regularly to TERF Island, and I watch Posie Parker's YouTube because it's so empowering. So thank you, everybody. You are totally brilliant. Yeah.
So nice to see you. We have your microphone. I have to say, I think if we didn't say lesbian, but we said lesbian, I think everyone would be one. It's a much nicer word said in with a Norwegian accent. But yeah, Tonya downplays a little bit. She was threatened with going to prison for saying that men can't be lesbians in Norway. It was really, really serious. I think we just have to acknowledge that throughout the globe, it is becoming harder and harder for women to say the most obvious things, like, you know, men can't be lesbian. It's just so great, isn't it? But I was in Norway with Tonya, like she said, a really long time ago, and it was just after I'd gone to America, and I talked to the now elected pervert, Sarah McBride, who was sat in a room, and I'd simply Julia Long and I just asked him some questions, and at that time, although they've all come round, some women in this country said it was practically criminal and a terrible thing to do to ask a man who was promoting the transitioning of 4-year-olds. And his first campaign at the Human Rights Campaign in America was to put a man in a woman's prison who had beaten his wife so badly as he killed her that she was nearly decapitated. And then he went home and sat and ate dinner with their son as if nothing had happened. But, you know, it's a terrible thing to ask a man like that some questions. We should all refrain from doing it. He's now a senator. So I think, you know, they've been doing this a long time. I'm just going to keep telling you every time. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? How bad does it need to get? And I promise you that victory is I can taste it. It just will have to take a number of you to stand up. But victory is ours because we speak the truth. So, yeah, anyway, you.
Love the jumpsuit.
If you were a deep state operative, would you wear it on a t-shirt? Maybe double bluff.
I'm wearing this t-shirt so they can identify us. You know, I'm a deep state operative because we're accused of splitting the left and setting everybody against one another. Better to be identified. I'm afraid I can't speak very loud, but I'll do my best. Okay, I haven't spoken here for a few months. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I was cancelled by the Morning Star for daring to draw a cartoon that warned of the dangers of women's spaces. At the time that WP UK were having that famous meeting where they started allowing men in and all the rest of it. So some of you know my story. I'm not on Twitter, but I am on Getter, I'm on Spinster, and I'm on a new site called Femi Nuremberg. I hope everybody will go home and look that up. It's a new video channel just for women. The most famous woman on there at the moment is Excelantic, so please go and look that up and support it. But I've come here to say a couple of things. I have been a local council candidate and I have been a PPC, which is an approved parliamentary candidate, in my time. And I have taken part in campaigns, I have run campaigns, I've worked with councillors, I've worked with MPs. I'm willing to go anywhere in the country to support a party women candidate. And I also want to make an offer that anybody who's running in their local area, whether it's for council, parliament or police and crime commission, if you've got leaflets or you've got a website or you're on social media and you'd like political cartoons from me, completely free, and not just in this country but anywhere in the world. So any party women candidate, I'm offering that to them. So that's that. And unlike Posie, I do still call myself a feminist because I'm very keen on other things that we're still fighting. And I just want to mention one that's ongoing at the moment, which is the upcoming release of Colin Pitchfork. Boo, boo. Right, so if none of you have heard of this, please go on a YouTube channel called Crime Analyst with a woman called Laura Richards. Explains it brilliantly. She is asking us all to write to the Justice Minister, a guy called Chalk. Is it Alan Chalk, everybody? The Minister of Justice. To email him, to beg him not to overrule the parole board and not let this man walk free. He was the violent sex killer of 2 young girls back in the 80s. He's never shown any remorse. He's conned the parole board. We can't see this man walk free. So the Justice Secretary has got the power to override the parole board. He could even impose a full life tariff on this man now. He could even do that. So I think we should all be involved in that and be begging him to do that. There isn't very long. They're thinking of releasing him soon. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
If you didn't hear what Stella said at the beginning, she's a political cartoonist, and she did a cartoon that was completely accurate for the Morning Star, which was basically a crocodile saying he identified as a newt to go into a pond with salivating teeth. And she was basically cancelled by the Morning Star because it was so terribly transphobic. I'm just going to read out what the young woman put in my present because I think it's really poignant and I think it's definitely worth hearing. This hand engraved, oh, thank you. Okay, I won't read that bit. That's just nice things about me. I'm a young lesbian who was so inspired by you and a small number of other women who stood up. It made me stand up too. I lost many, many friends and professional contacts. Since our spaces have been captured online and in the real world, I created an online space for lesbians and bisexual women who know what a woman is. 90% of the members are under 35. I can't imagine 20 years ago you'd have had to say this lesbian space is just for women who know what a woman is. It's absolutely insane. Right, there's lots of people asking to speak. Yes. So what you can't see, people at home, is a woman with bright pink hair giving out some lyrics. And we are going to, for once, we're going to allow somebody with a penis to actually be anywhere near the microphone before the end.
Thank you very much.
It's all right.
Okay. I promise he does have a penis, but he's very well behaved.
Can I clip this on you?
Yes.
All right, make him stand quite near you so we can pick up the guitar.
Okay. Right, come a bit closer, darling, so we get the... Okay, sod it. Have you got it? Scan it. That's it back.
I can't wait.
I'm good. Okay, where do you want me?
Yeah, go that side.
What side? What side?
Yeah, where you are.
Yeah, okay.
We can see you. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, Park, are you ready to rock? If you know the tune, sing along. Well, I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 65 now and I won't be for long. People ask me when do I grow up to understand why all the girls who are at school wish that they could be a man. Well, I loved praise then and I love it still. Though you put me on a pedestal, I prove myself a shill. I don't feel bad if my sexism shows. I just feel glad about letting you know. I don't want to change the world. I'm just looking for a new gender. Are you saying men can't be a girl? I don't want to change the world. I'm just looking for a new gender. Are you saying men can't be a girl? Well, we read the words you wrote, Billy. That tweet was rank misogyny. Now every time that you hit send, you just sound like a huge bell end. Well, we saw 2 shooting stars last night. We wished on them, but they were only transvestites. It doesn't matter what you wear. We wish you cared. We don't want to change our words. We're not looking for a new gender. We are saying men can't be a girl. We don't want to change our words. We're not looking for a new gender. We're saying men can't be a girl. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Brilliant. Ah. Good old Billy. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, there was other hands, yes. Oh, it's pig and boiling. Hi.
Hi.
Oh. Put it here, okay. Is that right there?
Merci. Hello, guys. My name is Karen. I'm French, but I've been in London for 10 years now. And when I heard about the whole movement, the word cis, I was, what does it mean? What does it mean? And they came to me on my page and they harassed me and said, yes, cis means that and this. I said, I don't care. I don't care. I'm a woman. And I'm standing here to tell women, don't be scared. If you've been with an abusive partner, you know how it works. And most of us, we know. If someone has to use fear and threaten, it's not okay. If you have to use fear, doxing, and threatening women to have your point, you are not welcome in our space. And I am speaking here for my daughter, for your daughter, for the future generation. That's why we are here. Because they are going to be the ones who are going to pay the price if we are not standing for them. I'm talking for the little girl in India where mother has to abort them because they are girls. I'm talking for the women who have a female genitalia mutilation. Because we're talking about here, but things is still happening outside of Europe, where women are not allowed to be women, where women lose their clitoris, where women get married before the age of 5, where women, little girls, feminicide, women die every hour in the world. Every 15 minutes, a woman loses her life because she's killed by someone in her family, and it's a man. That's why I'm standing here. So yes, here we are free to be women, but all over the world, other women are not even able to be women. So I'm standing here for you, for your daughter, for my daughter, and I will fight till the end. Men are men, and women are women, and it's okay. Thank you.
Well done, well done. Oh, I'm enjoying these new women. Yes.
I will be quick. I had a practice of this, and we did a standing for women local in an actual place called Speaker's Corner in Portsmouth a few weeks ago. And so it might not be quite the same here because there's a lot more of you, but we've been sitting down quite a long time. So I invite any of you to stand up and join in a minute. And what's been happening is that we've been losing our boundaries. And how we defend our boundaries is by saying no. So I just want us all to just practice saying no. 1, 2, 3. No! And again, 1, 2, 3. No! Now, stand up if you want and have another go. Yay, up you get. Yay, up you get. Right. So. Right, you've had a practice saying no loudly. Now try stamping your foot when you say no. And you go, no! 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 Other foot, other foot. No! No! Louder! No! Now, fist in your hand, and you strike down as you stamp. And you can actually, there's a room here, but you can walk forward, or you can turn outside to the face of the world and start going, no, to the world. No! 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 No!
No! No! No! No! No! No! No! You can all...
Oh, I didn't even notice you had it on.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
sorry.
you so much. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, for God's sake, sit down. You can all sit back down again and drink. I'm just going to say, to be fair, I think this stomping is a bit more TRA than woman. They do that all the time. I saw someone. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to ask again, if you're not speaking here, if you don't have the clippy mic, I'm especially looking at stewards, could you please be quiet? Thank you. There you go. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Michaela, and I've been thinking, how can I best contribute to this movement, this fight, this struggle of ours against the transvestite men's rights movement, otherwise known as gender ideology. And I thought, I know, I can impersonate men who impersonate women. That's what I can do. And last month at Standing for Women, I did Ros Kavenny reading one of his new poems. And this, I've thought of someone else. I'm going to do him now. And you have to guess, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you have to guess who it is. And it just takes 2 minutes for me to get my costume on, so. I tried to get the best one I could. Yeah, sorry. No. Right, I've got something to say to you, and I hope you're all listening, because I'm just going to say it once. I am a woman. I'm going to say it one more time, because I really want it to penetrate into your thick skulls. I am a real woman, a biological woman. I've always been a woman. At the beginning of time, before time began, and before the universe and the cosmos and all that sort of thing, I was a woman then, and that's a historical fact, right? And I am a woman now, and at the end of time, ditto at the end of time, at the universe and the cosmos and all that, I'm going to be a woman then too, right? And And I'm more of a woman than you are. With your hair, I've got really smooth legs. And as for you, Nosy Parker, I can do that if I like. I bought them. I own them. So then I'm going to run away with your microphone. What? Running away now. I'm running like a woman. Look. What does that even mean? I finished. That's it.
She is a real woman, so let that penetrate. Yes. That's all right. Just because otherwise everyone's in shadow.
Yeah, okay.
Right, hi, my name's Emma. I used to be in the Green Party. I'm not anymore. But I'm still fighting to get back in. Yeah. Okay, so I kind of come and do a little bit of an update about what's happening in the Green Party because I am interested in the politics. Now the Green Party are proud of doing politics differently, and they do politics differently because while the other parties are remembering that at least 99% of women have not got a penis, the Green Party are forging ahead with their persecution of women and burning the witches. And as usual, it is the gender critical members of Green Party women who are under the cosh. A couple of months ago, they tweeted the following thread. It's only 3 tweets, so don't worry, I'll make it quick, okay? So this is what they said. Green Party women welcomes the EHRC calling for the public debate on issues of sex and gender to move to a more informed and constructive basis. We in Green Party women have differing views on this topic, but are committed to well-informed and respectful discourse on the subject. Those of us who support single-sex spaces recognise its importance for the meaning of sex to be clarified so that the Equality Act can be correctly applied as it was originally intended. We feel it is vital for the female's safety and dignity and fairness that they are protected on the basis of sex. Green Party women is clear that this new information from the EHRC should not leave trans people without legal protection from discrimination. We will continue to monitor the announcements from EHRC and show our support or disagreement as the conversation continues. So that's what they said. Now, this caused a real furore, and the Green Party Regional Council, who oversee the party, the well-being of the party, that's quite Orwellian, that they're interested in the well-being, they thought it was so bad, they declared they had an emergency meeting to see what they could do about these awful transphobic tweets from the Green Party Women Committee. Okay? In this meeting, these tweets were called transphobic, offensive, clumsy, all denounced, completely denounced. Not one person stood up and went, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what they said. Okay? Now, and now that's ongoing and they're calling for suspensions. They're trying to find out who wrote the tweet, who wrote it, okay, who put it up. And they want that person, they want to burn that witch. They really do. So, but in case some of you missed the obvious transphobia in those tweets, the LGBT Greens have kindly done a guide to your whistleblowing, not whistleblowing, your dog whistling transphobia. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's because they're quite long, they're quite thorough. It starts off with a description of gender critical. So, and they say the term gender critical is often used by transphobes to disguise their bigotry as merely sex essentialism, not unlike those who use the term race realist to disguise their racism. Now, the trans gay agenda is apparently often tied with anti-Semitic tropes of Jewish plots to undermine the patriarchy. Biological sex and sex matters is sex essentialism. And the concept is used to justify a set of policies that takes the imagery of common sense to a constructed mainstream audience. How dare they, eh? Which is mostly white and middle class. Terrible. And it's dangerous and hurts gender non-conforming people especially. Protecting children is also a transphobic dog whistle. Let kids be kids. This is harmful rhetoric which endangers children and could lead to a Section 28 style culture in education. What is a woman? What it means. This question is usually asked in bad faith. Using they to describe a trans woman or trans man repeatedly. What it means. This can be a casualisation of pronouns to deny the gender identity of a trans man or trans woman by refusing to use he, him or she, her. So we can't have our own language at all. Okay, now this guide, there's been no complaints about this guide. The Green Party are fine with this. It's on the LGBTIQA+ Greens website if you want to have a look. So, you know, this is the disparity in the Green Party. Now, finally, that's my update, and I just want to give a shout out to the Green Party Women Committee, the gender critical ones. The Green Party Women's Committee is split to gender critical and the trans handmaidens. So, and, you know, the gender critical friends are really battling and really trying hard. And I also want to say a shout out to Alison Teal, a very popular Green Party councillor in Sheffield, who is on a no-fault suspension for suggesting Eddie Izzard might be a man. And finally, Shara Ali is, I know he's a man, but I still like to thank him. He's taken the Green Party to court, and that's set for August the 21st, when I'm hoping that some of this stuff is going to come out and come to light. So, thank you. Cheers.
Thank you so much. I think you find you were talking about Susie Izzard, Susie, who's got a cock, and is a man. No, we all call him Eddie. In fact, we probably don't refer to him much at all. Hasn't he just morphed into something horrendous? I mean, maybe it was always there, but that bandwagon wasn't going to drive itself, was it? Yes, young lady. Really as loud as you can. Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to talk for long. So I just want to do an update on my petition. I got 12,000 online signatures, and I've got, I think it's 258 from people here and 110 from students in my school. So I'd just like to thank everyone that signed it, and yeah, that's it. I just wanted to update you.
Oh, sorry. I'm just reminded, I'll let you next, just 1 minute. So when we think about this issue, and we're all in our big girl pants, or I certainly am, just for a bit of comfort really, but we're all, you know, able maybe to speak up, able to close the door on this. There is no legal compulsion for us to enter into a government-run place on a daily basis, unlike girls at school. And what's really made me laugh this week is all the trans lunatics saying that it was made up, like totally ignoring the story of those two girls who recorded that conversation, and the teacher berating them I mean, God, can you imagine? The teacher berating them for saying there's only 2 genders. I really wish people would use the word sex, but I'm not going to criticise. And these girls have to go into school, they have to be gaslit by teachers, they have to use often, even before this crap, schools had started putting in unisex toilets everywhere. I hated going to the loo at all at school, especially if it was the time of the month, and I only had girls next to me. And most women will probably remember how quietly can you tear a little bit of paper? How quietly can you unwrap something thin plastic? How quietly can you lift up the sanitary bin? Or if you're like me, just flush it. But I'm sorry, but I was a teenager, don't judge. But how quietly we could do those things. Now imagine there's a boy next to you. And so you just have to, if you haven't yet, I don't know why, but you need to have a look at your children's school policies on diversity and inclusion. You have to find out their bullying policies, because this shit, they hide. They hide this stuff where they put boys in with your daughter. They hide it in sort of diversity and inclusion or the bullying policies, but they hide it. They're not upfront. And that one lost her case, which is just mind-blowing, to see what they were teaching her daughter at school. She lost the case. They don't have to show her at all what some outside group is going to teach to her daughter. And that's here, in this country, and some learned man or woman gave that judgment that actually, no, you don't have a right to know what some outside group, let's remember mermaids send a great big AGP to stand in an assembly talking to your kid. They don't have to tell you at all what these outside agencies are doing. Even if they were just like teaching your children how to build daisy chains, the fact that you're not allowed to know is sinister as fuck. So, sorry girls, it's really cool to swear. So anyway, so that's just what I want to say, because there's some young women here who have to go to school and they have to run the gauntlet of not only losing friends for speaking up about this or not going along with this, but also getting told off by teachers, not having any private space as a female in school. I just can't imagine. I just commend them for even going to school, to be honest, when even in maths lessons, you might have the gender neutral pronoun they, because people no longer talk about boys and girls. And when my son was at a primary school, which was like 4 years ago, one of the dinner staff told me they weren't allowed to use girls and boys even back then. So long before any of us knew that this was happening, they were changing school policies. You can't say good girl and good boy, from about 5 or 6 years ago. So this stuff is just everywhere. There really is no excuse. Go and have a conversation with your school. Yes. Hi.
Oh, this is exciting.
Are you ready?
Not really.
Okay.
Put my eyes on first. Hello, everyone.
Really
Can you hear me?
No.
Oh.
Really belly, kind of low,
Right.
low.
Right. This is something I wrote for every woman warrior. So all of you here and everyone at home. It's called Adult Human Female Warriors. And women are warriors. It's in our soul. Throughout history, we've always been bold. We've bravely fought alongside the men. Sometimes we've warred fearlessly against them. Women have been silenced consistently, pushed into the background, obviously, so men can claim our triumphs, achievements, awards, leave us out of history books like nothing untoward. Women are courageous, quick to defend, mothering children with love that has no end. But grind us down,
take away our rights, you better take cover, for we're ready to fight. Women are warriors, hear our battle cries. We refuse to be less than in your male eyes. We'll defend our female sex to the bitter end from selfish men who like to play at pretend. Women are much stronger than you believe. We'll stand up to the women haters and word thieves and all those who try to imitate us and mock, who steal our rights, our words, spaces, data, medals. I don't care about the frocks. Women are warriors, uniquely made. Males don't have the XX factor to make our grade. This makes some spit with jealousy and bile. They claim to be a woman too, a lie so outrageous and vile. Women are the kind of sex, it's often thought, that strip away our dignity for which our grandmothers fought, or take away the safety that our children surely need. Women warriors will rise up into a force you'd never believe. Women are warriors, undefeated in our hearts. We never lose a battle, just take the bad bits apart. Use them for our strength and good for another time. Build upon our inner power, then have a glass of wine. Women are warriors, it's in our soul. Throughout history, we've always been bold. Today, we women pledge to continue the fight until all daughters are safe and given their sex-based rights.
Thank you so much, well done. Hi. There you go.
Good afternoon. I'm going to come out today. My name is actually Helen, but on Twitter I was always Henrietta. But then I got speaking to a lady called Henrietta Freeman, and I'd like to speak up for all the Henrietta Freemans out there, because those women have no voice anymore. Henrietta Freeman has a health condition where she is reliant on carers to give her care every day, personal care, very intimate. And I've worked, this year is now the 30th year that I've worked in health and social care. My first job was doing personal care with very vulnerable people. And I just want to say, I just think it's absolutely disgusting that she's been made out to be out of order for expecting to have a female carer. This is where we're at in 2023. I can't imagine having to go through that. It must be absolutely dreadful. And the way she's been vilified by the trans people on Twitter has just been absolutely appalling. From a personal point of view as well, I would like to point out that my 16-year-old daughter went onto a site that she was recommended by her GP called Kooth, K-O-O-T-H. And she went on that site and there were young women talking about getting breast binders, how to keep information away from your parents. If you can't get a breast binder, just buy really tight sports bras to flatten yourself out. And luckily, she came to me and told me this. This is the same situation that's been going on Childline. James Etters was the whistleblower on that because he was one of the therapists on there. And again, all these captured organisations who are getting these really vulnerable young women involved in this self-destruction, it's just absolutely appalling. And I just want people to be aware of it and to keep talking about it. I was late coming here today, but I made use of my taxi drive by TERFing the taxi driver. He didn't have a clue. He didn't have a clue. He said, "I've got gay friends," and I said, "Yeah, that's not an issue." I said, I went all through it. I said, "Read Jennifer Byler." I wrote it down. I gave him stickers of yours. I've been stickering. So just keep talking and wear the t-shirt. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah, for God's sake, be the billboard, everybody. Stickers are brilliant. So I don't know if you tune into TERF Talk this week. We had a woman who lives in, I want to say San Francisco or Oregon or somewhere equally dire for women. And she was too nervous to wear a t-shirt with the dictionary definition of the word woman because she feared being attacked, which is probably very likely. So she bought a suffragette scarf, all available at the adulthumanfemale.store. But she wore a suffragette scarf and she saw a woman tired in her scrubs, tired, and the woman looked and they had an instant kind of recognition of what the significance of that scarf meant. And I hate to say it, but other people do merch, but they don't do it like Adult Human Female Store. I mean, we do have the best merch. And we also have really worldwide recognized messaging because it's simple and it's truthful, doesn't try to be too pretty, just delivers a very simple message of solidarity. And I promise, when you leave a little sticker, as I did in Cardiff, a little trans women and men, and they've got really angry aubergines on now. I really feel like I've excelled myself with how brilliant the stickers are, but I put that right in the middle of an open reach, kind of everyone's included, which I thought was weird because my broadband's shit. And so I'm not remotely included by OpenReach. And then I just thought, why are OpenReach having to say that they're inclusive? Like, are we suddenly going to switch off our phones? Are we going to not have broadband in our houses if they don't say that they're inclusive of men in women's changing rooms? It was very bizarre, but anyway, it did look very nice with trans women and men right in the middle of the Progress Pride colours. So I'm just saying that the joy of stickering cannot be overstated. I personally have a theme tune in my own head when I do it, which is Mission Impossible. I do genuinely feel like a spy, so if you're wondering the best method for a sticker, oh, I also did John Lewis escalators. Escalators are brilliant because you can hold, what you do is you put your sticker in, sticky side down, so the sticker face in your hand, sticky side down, you go on the escalator, you hold your hand there, give it a rub, and then you can let go right at the end. Then no one can see it until it comes round again. And by then you've long gone, you've gone. Other places to sticker, also you can do that same method, which is beautiful, when you're going past crossings and cash machines, great for a sticker. Especially if they've like a Santander with Pride stuff everywhere. That's a nice little sticker place there, but yeah, the method of kind of rub and go is what I like to call it. Just as you're going past something, just rub and go. And I really made this method my own when I was with Magdalene up in Edinburgh. We did the festival, there were thousands of people around. They never saw a single rub and go. And I'd crossed a lot of roads that day. So anyway, be the billboard. That's how, like every time I come out now, it costs over £1,000 to have security to make sure that I'm not attacked, because there's a man who was under arrest recently for his very graphic idea of what he'd like to do to me, and Helen Joyce. Although if I am going to be set on fire, being set on fire with Helen Joyce, I mean, she's a very, very entertaining woman. So I feel if it's got to be with anyone, why not Helen? Although I'd rather it not be anyone. But yes, so, and then Geneva, oh my God, that was so expensive. So everywhere we go now, it just requires an awful lot of money to do this. So I really appreciate it. We don't ask for donations, although we do like them. But we do say, join in, be the message, be the billboard. Make sure that there's somebody that you might walk past. You have no idea who you might walk past, who might be living with an AGP. Mrs. Hayton. Might be living with an AGP, might be really feeling like she's totally isolated and that she just needs a little bit of something that day. Even I have felt those days, and then I've gone into a car park and there's an adult human female sticker and my daughter's gone, oh my God, have you done that already? I don't know, it was already here. It's already here, it's already here. Anyway, who else would like to speak? Yes. Really loud.
Oh, I'm not have a problem with that. I'm from Glasgow.
Brilliant.
Hello, Hyde Park. Can you hear me? I'm Jane from Glasgow, and before I say what I was going to say, I just want to make a quick comment in response to the therapist that spoke earlier and talking about therapists being disciplined and sacked for expressing absolutely factual, accurate views. Exactly the same thing is happening to social workers. And just a little plug, I suppose, because you mentioned a number of organisations doing some really good work. So a little plug for the Evidence-Based Social Work Alliance. Please follow them on Twitter and look at their resources, and anybody that's having problems in terms of being a social worker and working in this field and dealing with child protection issues, then support them. There's a social worker, Rachel Mead, who's got a crowdfunder who needs support like mad. So if anybody's got a wee bit spare money after they've bought all Kelly's merchandise, please donate to Rachel's crowdfunder. So I'm going to read something because it's not my words that I want to talk about today. And normally I don't have a problem yakking on my own words, but it relates to a lot of what other people have talked about today in terms of women being silenced and being frightened to speak out. And I'm in the very fortunate position of being retired and have no fucks left to give about what I say and who I say it to. And what it means is that I get quite a lot of contacts from people privately who express their views about how sad and guilty they feel that they cannot speak up publicly because of their jobs. So because I'm a former social worker and social work academic, and in both of those areas, people are terrified to speak. So I was contacted recently by someone that I knew from previously. Totally unsolicited contact, I might say. She gave me this story and I asked her if I would ever be able to use it if the situation arises, totally anonymously, of course, and she has given consent for that to be used. So I'm just going to read it out, assuming I can see it with my crappy eyesight. So, I watched your tweets with interest. I was an out-and-out tomboy as a child, wanted to be a boy, dressed like a boy. My mum let me have my hair cut short like a boy. No stress, no hysteria. Romped in the fields, climbed trees, had a wonderful childhood. All because my heroine, at 8 years old, was George, the famous 5. Yeah? Morally strong, fierce, called out traditional female roles. From my late teens, I felt happily female, enjoyed my femininity, and have ever since. Can't imagine what would happen if, as a child, I had presented the same way in today's society. Blah, blah, blah. Other things about me, which I won't read out. One of the most interesting things was although I stubbornly told everyone I wanted to be a boy, I didn't actually deep down. And I knew that very well. My internal sense of self was different to the words I projected into the world, so could easily have been mistaken as a genuine desire to be a boy. As a child, I simply had a very strong sense of self, thought gender stereotypes were very stupid, quite rightly, and just wanted to be my own kind of girl, which equated to exactly what my heroine in the book was doing. But I couldn't have articulated that more complicated reasoning at the time. I really should ask my mum what she thought at the time. If I get the opportunity, I'll add it to the story. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, hello.
I know, it's been a while.
Yeah, hi.
I've just been cycling, so I'm probably like all bouncy.
What, for months?
Right, so I'm back with some more vegan propaganda for the haters in the live chat, or as I call it, facts. So I wanted to tell you all about a court case that happened 2019-2020. The result came out in 2020. There was a guy called Geordie, for a name, Cashmerendy, and he's working for the League Against Cruel Sports. And he found out they were investing their pension scheme into something that abused animals. And then he complained about it and they sacked him. So there was a court case. And in the court case, veganism went through a belief, if it was deeply held and people lived by it, and it was like, yes. And so the conclusion was veganism was worthy of respect in a democratic society, which is something I think you all heard, or you all know, sorry. And the lawyer from that is a guy called Peter Daly, who then went on to represent Mary Forstater in her case. So vegans did pave the way. You're welcome. And thank you to Peter Daly for protecting rights, not only as a vegan, but as a woman. Okay, that bit's done. And so I would like you to all sing one line of a song with me. Finish the line. It goes, do a deer. See, we all know a doe is a female deer. A rabbit, female, is a doe. The male is a buck. A cat, female, is a dam. The boy is a tom. Sheep, the female is a ewe. The male is a ram. And it goes through like that. Horses, the female is a mare, the male is a stallion. So, when it comes to humans, human females, the word female is not ours. Every female cow, sheep, mouse is also female if they are female. They've all got their own individual words, but are also female. We have one word for an adult human female, and that is woman. And no one can take it. I don't care if your name is Mr. Levine. You are not female. You never will be female. The smallest, tiniest female mouse birthing her babies and feeding them, she is female. My rabbits are female. Dairy cows used in the dairy industry, they are female. Levine, you are male. Get used to it. And one more thing. I've been in this fight now since 2018. It's 5 years. I'm thoroughly and utterly fucked off of it. All the animal sanctuaries are really struggling now. They don't have enough money to buy, with the food increases, they don't have enough money to feed the animals. Me personally, we've always been asked, what would you rather be doing? Well, that is what I would rather be doing. And so I've done this for 5 years. Us women in this that have done it for 5 years, we took the hits, we took the abuse, we took the sackings, we did the court cases, and we fought to get to a position now where a woman, female teacher, is now challenged for forcing this stuff. So it's not that you will now be sacked for not promoting it. You can now face dismissal for promoting it. That is the 180 everyone in this group has helped to change. And now it is up to all the other women who didn't want to speak, who didn't, self-preservation, didn't want to get into the fight when it was really hard and grubby. Now it's your turn, because I've got animals to go save.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Don't put your hand up, Alfie. Anyone else? Because it's very hot. My champagne's getting warm. I would like to drink it. What? It's nearly 3 o'clock. Oh, God's sake. Yeah, of course you are. Say whatever you like.
I didn't want to butt in if anyone else wanted to speak.
No, don't be silly.
Speak first. Oh, I hate public speaking, but anyway, this is an apology, right? So this is an apology to my daughters, and this happened on our watch. This happened on our watch. This happened on my watch, and I'm gutted that this happened. And I'm sorry to my daughters. And I just think that we became complacent, and this is a message to all of us women, even though we're winning, even though we are winning, do not ever become complacent. I remember during COVID walking around thinking, oh my God, I was such an organised mum. I never thought we'd ever be in lockdown. I'd never thought this. We should never become complacent. And then all of a sudden this thing hit us. And it's made us all something that I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be, like, I'm not a hard person. I am a soft mummy, but this has made me really hard. And anyone that's been through a really tough history of violence or in a bad relationship, you put up a barrier, and what has happened, this ideology has made me put up a barrier, and it's really impacted all of our mental health. Women's mental health has been really impacted in this, and it's put up a barrier, and slowly it will come down, but don't ever become complacent again. And I will get back to being that soft mummy, but we need to win this first. So everybody carry on fighting, okay?
That amazing woman runs locals. And actually I just said to her she still was very soft, but she's quite monstrous in the verification. So thank you. Right, I just want to say to the stewards, as always, thank you very much. You make this possible. Special thanks to the tyrant known as Iris. And also to Jane Austen, who's wonderful. Thank you, Jane. And thank you all for coming. Just tiny fingers on lips. So it's really important that you keep moving forward. Don't be disheartened. Definitely. Look, my party is that close to being registered. It should take 4 to 6 weeks. They've had 5.5 weeks. There's a rumour that they're background checking every single claim made about me, and weirdly, they cannot find that Nazi gold. And all the right-wing Christian money dried right up. They can't find it, and nor could I. But if anyone does have any theo-fascist right-wing money, if you go to the Standing for Women website, you can donate it there. And I will happily take your money. So, if you can, be courageous, which is genuinely what you're going to have to be if you stand for election anywhere, and you can just think it's too important not to do it, then I promise we will win. If you can come to a gathering like this and look around you, it's genuinely a place of diversity and inclusion. And if you can sit next to someone with the full knowledge they might actually have an opinion that you don't agree with, and you can sit here even in the 31-degree heat and not melt, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Can we stop it? Yeah.